And we are live.
All right, so good evening, good evening, everybody. Let's just hold on for a bit. Good evening, Rachel. Okay, yes, I can hear you. Yeah. So, I want to sincerely apologize for starting late. We'll just wait for a few for some fellows to join, and then we'll probably kickstart.
Okay.
All right. All right, yes, I can see our wonderful fellows from across the country. Yes, love it. I can see you. I can see Suraj. I can see Peter Evete. I can see Bake. I can see Musa Adamu. So you guys can quickly just tell us where you. So just let us know in the comment section where you are joining us from. Yeah, I can see Nuruddin as well. Olalikan, glad to have you on the call. So just quickly to confirm if our speaker is here. Lovett, are you here? Lovett, quickly confirm if you're here. Sorry, Rachel. Rachel, quickly confirm if you're here. I can see John Omar as well. Yes, Tony Connor joining us from Sokoto. I see all the way from, yeah, Suraj, I can see from Yobe too. We sincerely apologize for starting today's call so late, right? So we had some technical issues where we're battling with. But yes, our fellows, our lovely fellows from across the country, we are always here for you. And yes, we'll keep doing everything possible to bring the best information to you guys at your doorstep. So without wasting much time, I know we've already dragged into our time, but without wasting further time, I'll quickly talk about our speaker for today, right? So yes, we all are in the tech space, and obviously there's this eagerness and anxiety and expectations that we want to land remote gigs. Everybody wants a remote gig. Everybody wants to earn in dollars. Yeah, everybody wants to earn in a foreign currency. And Before I call our speaker, who is seasoned, seriously, super experienced in that space, Richard James, one of the best I personally know, right? I will quickly talk about our partners for today's webinar, which is Cleva. Obviously, I know a good number of us have heard about very wonderful platforms where we all can get access to remote jobs. We've heard of Upwork, we've heard of Fiverr, we've heard of TopTal, we've also heard of Remote.ok. Yeah, but one common thing we've noticed over the years, right? A lot of people have been struggling with or used to struggle with, right? Because it's solved already, was the whole aspect of trying to what get paid, particularly when they are operating here in Nigeria. And that is where Clever clearly comes into the picture. We have Clever, right? One of those solid African platforms that encourages distinct payments. It allows this, it enables freelancers get access to their payments, right, while working remotely, right? Be it in whatever currency, USD, it gives you that platform, that seamless platform where you can what get paid from any part of the world, right? So um that's it about Clever. We'll come back to Clever in a short while, but yeah, we can go to Rachel now, who is seasoned, right? She will be telling us about the tricks around what getting paid, right? Earning in foreign currency, growing our income, right? From the whole remote this thing approach of working, how to manage and then grow our income as tech students. So Rachel, just quickly to confirm if you are available, you can take over the mic.
Thank you so much, Calvin. Please let me know if you can hear me well before we proceed.
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Rachel James. I'm a product designer and freelancer who's been fortunate to work with clients around the world through platforms like Contra. But today, I'm not here to talk about only design. I'm here to show you how anyone, especially we tech people, can make and earn their first dollar online. I remember how it felt when I first made my first dollar. It wasn't huge, but it changed everything because it proved that what I'm about to talk about today works. That you don't need a massive audience or fancy credentials. You just need to know how to position what you offer and show up in the right places. So, in today's session, I will walk you through practical tips, give a small mindset shift, and real strategies you can use today, not next month, to land that first paid gig. So, yes, do share this to your friends. And for those of us who stay to the end, there's a special gift. So, let's get into it. Let me share my screen. Okay. Please let me know if you can see my screen before I proceed.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay, thank you. So first, let's start with what you sell. So now, some of us are already learning a skill, or we are planning to learn a skill. But before that, you need to know what you're interested in and what you want to offer. So the best thing to start with is understanding what you can sell. Making money online is not about being perfect, but it's about getting visible and starting small. So here are just a list of common beginner-friendly services. I say a lot for developers and designers. You can start with landing page designs or development for startups, or create portfolios for other individuals. Or for developers, you can do bug fixing for existing websites, contribute to open source, and for designers, you can do like UI cleanup for small businesses. So there are quite a number of things you can get started in, but I do advise people to pick one or two and go deep into it. I know people say try to be a generalist, but when you're starting out, being a generalist can be very dangerous. So you need to pick one, two, and go deep into that thing. Now, the next thing is positioning. Positioning is key. People buy clarity. That's what people buy. So help people understand your value first. Your offer should answer who is your service for? What outcome does it bring? Why should they trust you? An example of that is you can say, for example, I help early stage startups launch fast with responsive React based landing page, for example, if you're a developer. So putting in the language you use and the people it's for, tell people exactly what you do, who the service is for. If it's for them as a potential client, they would know. So, firstly, you're not just a tech student just because you're learning already in the field. You solve a problem for a specific type of person or people. So, if people don't get what you do at a glance, they scroll past. For example, the freelance platform I'm contra, I always advise people to be very clear with their services. Make it very, very simple, no technical jargon. Because sometimes your clients aren't tech savvy people. So make it as simple as it is for a layman person to understand what service you offer and make the outcome very clear. Because as I said earlier, people buy clarity. So before then going on to the next stage, you need to know what an optimized profile is. Because now, for example, if you're on some social platforms, you need to know how to position yourself on that platform. And the first thing to do is optimize your profile to be client ready. I always tell my story online. On joining Contra, I got a client 1 week into the platform because before joining the platform, before being ready to apply to jobs, I looked out for other freelancers' profile as well, and then set up my profile, optimize it to be the best way possible. So I tell people before you pay for Contra Pro or when you want to join Upwork or Fiverr as well, you need to optimize your profile the best way, knowing exactly who you want to purchase your services. That will make you stand out. So here's an example of an optimized profile. The first one talks about who the person is, for example, a developer and what they do. But the second shows exactly what they do and tells the story. So when someone checks your profile, you've got like 5 seconds to make them care. Avoid vague terms like you're ready to work on anything or you're just a developer. It's best to add your language or a designer, if you're just a general designer, if you're a graphic designer, if you're a product designer, you need to list that out. You need to be very clear about the niche and outcome. Make it sound like you've solved this problem before. That's how to look out for the best optimized profile. So think of a profile like a landing page. The goal isn't just to show who you are, but to make someone say, this person can help me. So, whichever you are, if you're a developer, if you're a designer, if you're a digital marketer, if you're a content creator, whichever you are, say exactly what kind of brand you help and what results you bring. That should be on your bio or your about on your profile. It makes it very clear and very easy for clients to reach out to you. Now you've got an optimized profile, let's say. The next thing is how do you start getting this client? And one thing I do advise is outreach. People think that code DMs are dead. It's not. I've gotten quite a number of jobs from reaching out to the founders or whoever is in charge of that project or company. So one thing I tell people when I read through their DMs, the customer DM they sent to this company or this person, they mention their name, probably will say hi, for example, that I'm a front-end developer, or hi, I'm a UX designer. Can I help you build your site, for example? That's not being clear. You're just telling me you're a UX designer. What do you have to offer them? Did they even say they have a problem? So how to write code DMs that work or outreach that work is first, you mention hi, but you add the person's name you're speaking to. Adding a name personalized message. So after adding their name, you mention the problem you've seen on their site or on their app or on their product. So before reaching out to someone or a company, research about them. Check their messaging. Check their brand guideline, the language they use. Check the products themselves. Is everything fine? Is there a feature you think they could add that would enhance the business? Or is there something, a feature that you think is a problem to the business? So you have to list that out. For example, examples that I gave on the slide, you can say, "Hi," you add the person's name. "I noticed your startup's landing page takes a while to load. I'm a front end developer and I help small teams improve their site performance and UX. I'd love to share 2 or 3 ideas that could help. Would that interest you?" So, first, you added their name, it's personalized. Then, second, you told them something you noticed, which means you've done your research. And then, third, you introduce yourself, who you are, and how you can help them, and how you've done that same thing for others. Now you're giving them the question to choose if that will interest them. And more times, often than not, they would say yes, because you're telling them there's a problem with their current product and you can help solve that problem. And I'm sure everyone that has a problem wants a solution. So that's 90% coverage too. Now that you've gotten the outreach, next thing is being visible on the right platform, because now you know how to optimize your profile the best way. You know how to write really good code DMs. But how do you get seen? That's why I need to be visible on the right platform. I'm on a number of platforms, but I have two that I'm strongly active on. I tell people choose 2 or 3, max 3 to be honest. Then go deep into that platform instead of being everywhere. You can choose like Instagram, LinkedIn, GitHub, Contra, whichever suited for the role you're in. You can pick that, and then focus on that platform. Be very invested into that platform, because being everywhere, especially at the beginning, doesn't help. You can become overwhelmed and you will burn out, and that doesn't help you. So you should choose 2 or 3 and then focus on those. Know the patterns, how things work there, and then study how clients and people talk about what they do, or look at other people who are above your level, see what they do, and try to replicate that with your own style. Share everything that you do, even if you're learning or you're working on a client project or a side project, anything. Share it, build in public. That brings visibility. Now, let's say you've gotten that. Now you're visible. Now, someone has reached out to you. Now it's time to close that deal. You've got to do it with confidence, because I say it time after time. Clients know when someone is confident about what they do, when they talk confidently. They know when one knows that, okay, I've got this experience, I know exactly what I'm talking about. And when talking with clients in moments like this, there are key lines to use. First off, rephrasing what they've said. You can say, based on what you shared, you said this, that, this, and this. Now, here's what I recommend. So first, you're recalling and rephrasing what they've said, which means you understood what they said. And now you're bringing forth a solution. This is what you recommend for the brand. And you can say it includes like landing page design or development, basically listing out everything you can offer to bring a solution to their brand. And when it comes to pricing, don't be afraid to talk about money. Be straightforward with it. Be confident, say your price, and then tell them why you said so. If you have the feeling that you're probably charging too high, explain why you gave them that price. Tell them this is the reason, this is the value, this is what we do. That's what I'm listening. You can break that down for them like in a price packaging. And always have a light version, a variation in case it's above their budget. So when you tell them, okay, you do this probably for 250 or 2,500 dollars, and I say, oh, that's above my budget, you can just say, okay, I can do this and this and this for a lower price. Then you mentioned a lower price, but it won't have all the deliverables as your first price. But you tell them it's still as good for them to start with. So giving them an option. The lesser version shows that you're truly interested in working with them and they will consider. If they don't really have the budget for your first price, they will consider working with you with the next one you give them. So the tip is to lead with value. Don't sound desperate. Even if it's your first job or your first big gig or the job you've gotten, the first one in a while, don't sound desperate. Be outcome focused, knowing they're bringing a solution to their business. That should give you confidence to stay. And always remember to offer flexible pricing without devaluing your work. Because sometimes, truly, some clients don't have the price you may mention, but that's the reason for the light version, to show that you're genuinely interested in working with them. I tell people online, just because they're your clients doesn't mean they're just money makers to you. They are people as well, human beings as you. And when you show they're genuinely interested in their business and listening to them, they'll definitely want to work with you. And referral goes a long way in the long run. Now, the next thing is how to take that one client to a long term client. Because so many freelancers leave money on the table with this. I see time after time after time. They think they've just gotten this one gig and that's it. They can move on from then. But no, you can stay in their realm, you can stay connected with them, you can send quick ideas, you celebrate their win, show them you care about their growth. That's how you turn $100 gig, for example, to $1,000. That was what I used to turn $1,000 gig to a $7,000 gig because I was always with them. After the job, I sent a message, and I do with my clients. That's why I have recurrent clients based on referrals too. After the job, you send like a wrap up email and a thank you, telling them, okay, this is what you did, what you appreciated. And it highlights the results and the quick wins of what you've done during that project. Then a month after, you can follow up. Be watching them, watching what they're doing, how their business is going, how they're progressing. Then after that, you follow up with them. Say like, hey, I saw your product update, congrats. Like the example I give, I got a few more ideas based on new features. Want me to send them over? This shows that you're engaged with what they're doing, that you're interested in what they're doing. So that's the point. You should be around them, and even on socials, you should like and share their updates. You should comment on their launch, and you should stay in their world. With this, whenever you're there with them, you turn to their go-to, not just a one-time hire. You always stay with them. Like I said earlier, this is what I use, and I've used it so many times to change a $200 gig. Then when I started to 1,200, I've used it for 1,000 to 7,000. I've used it for 1,005 to 4,500. This is what I do because as a business, they would need your service one time or the other. So it's good to stay in their network. It's good to stay where they see you. And they will appreciate because they're genuinely interested at the same time. Do this with the mindset of being interested in the business because you've worked with them, you've worked on their product, and you love to see how big it grows. So it's a win win situation. Now, this is outreach plus social proof equals your first dollar. This is basically how to get that first gig. You don't wait for clients, you pitch them. Make it about them, not you. For someone just starting out, the mistake I see a lot of people make is they wait for clients thinking, okay, someone will see them and then offer their services. Yes, someone will in the long run, but you don't know when. So instead of focusing on what you can't control, focus on what you can control. That's what you should do. So reach out to clients, pitch them. When I was starting, that's what I did because I noticed I didn't have any clients. So before joining Control, what I did was I looked for websites online, go through them, make the UX audit, and then look for the founders or whoever is in charge. And then reach out to someone in the company and say, oh, I found this problem. I found this is a feature I think would be helpful. What do you think? First, give them value before thinking about pricing. That's the first thing. So you should DM business owners from time to time. I do tell people don't be afraid to reach out to people. You have to be confident about what you do. You have to be confident about what you do. Someone told me that, oh, I'm shy. I don't really know how to reach out to people. I told them that people don't believe that I was shy at first. But someone told me something that struck with me. He said, you can't be broke, in quotes, you don't have money, and be shy. That those two can't work together. So you have to be bold to get what you want, confident, reach out, take charge of your life, take charge of what you want to do. So now that's the first dollar strategy framework. The first thing is to pick a niche, then create a simple offer from that niche, and then set up your profile. Then reach out to like 10 potential clients. I tell people not to do too much in a day because it means you're just sending generic messages, which most of the time you won't get a feedback. So what you should do is send like 2 to 3 a day, but they should be intentional and personalized to each person. And then once you get that person that responds and give you the chance, you over deliver and then you document your results for the next client. So moving on. So that's how I've been able to do everything that I've done from the beginning. The foundations never changed, to be honest. I use the foundation till now, from when I started to where I am now with all my experience. So what I've learned so far is that you only need one yes. A lot of us are waiting to get like 10 clients, 10 comments, or 10K followers before we start. But honestly, all it takes is one person to say yes for you to realize this thing is real. For me, that first yes changed how I saw myself and what I offered. So if you're pitching or posting right now and hearing nothing, keep going because that one yes can open everything. And then learn to create your own opportunities. I didn't wait to get hired. I made mock projects, made side projects. I redesigned things I loved, websites I love, features of app that I love using. I created service pages on Contra, made them so easy even when I had no clients yet. So as someone else, you can do the same. You can do the same. Then share your wins, even the small one. Don't wait for those six-figure clients before you post. You don't have to wait for it to get 1,000 likes on a post before you say, okay, now you're celebrating that. No. Every little thing you do, you know how you are. You know how much effort you put into doing something. So share that this is what you got done this week, even if it's completing your portfolio. You can say, this is what you got done this week and this is what you learned. And then lastly, clients don't care if you're new. That's the honest truth. And that's why people make a lot of mistakes. They think because they're new, clients won't hire them. No. Clients hire you when they see you can help, when they see you can solve their problem. They don't mind if they're new. I always tell people that the first client I had that's the first project I worked in as a product designer paid me about $1,500. That was my first project. But because I'd already studied so much, learned the UX terms, learned how to spot problems and bring solutions, the clients knew that I knew what I was doing, and that was what did it for me. So that's what you can do the same. Success isn't a journey; it's a journey, sorry, not a destination. That was by also Ash. So bonus tips: you should collaborate with other students as well and designers because collaboration brings better portfolios. You get good projects that are worthy to place in your portfolio. And don't own the price, but do start simple. That's the thing. You should know the balance at where to start. Like you shouldn't underprice yourself because you're starting, but you shouldn't go too high that you think you can do this because I've learned that the hard way. I tried a client once that I thought I could take on the workload. No, no, it was something that I'm not at that level for. For it's basically being honest about yourself and where you're at, and then build in public. Share what you're working on, even if it's messy. It doesn't have to be all glorious or glamorous. Just share what you're working on. Now, let's say you've done all this. You've finally gotten this client, and clients are ready to pay. Now, how do you receive that money? That's where Clever comes in. So, why am I talking about Clever? Because since I've been working and I tested Clever, one thing I personally love is that I get my USD accounts in minutes, very fast. I get my account number, my account address, everything I need basically to receive money from anywhere and send money to anywhere. And then their capped fees is very low on deposit, 0.8% at $20. That's like very low to those of us that use exchange rates a lot. And then you can easily collect USD payments from like your Upwork or your PayPal or any service you use, or even wire transfer on any US banks. And it's very fast. Your KYC registration is very quick and simple. Basically, get your documents ready, a photo, and you're done. And your exchange rates, you get the best. Clever is one of the highest I use. So that's why I'm sticking with Clever. And you send and receive money, that's your dollars, directly with your Clever tag. So from one Clever account holder to the other, basically just ask for the Clever tag and then you send the money you want to or receive money. Very quick and very easy. And now withdrawals, if you're Nigerian, withdrawal to your local account is very fast, like instant. When you click on that button to convert, you receive the alert on your bank account. Very straightforward. And then another good part of it is the virtual dollar card, which you can use to like pay for bills and subscription. And you can directly fund your Naira to convert to USD. That's if you want to share or send money to someone outside the country. And the best part of it all is that as you use Clever, you earn points from using Clever when you receive money. And when you send money, money, you receive points for this, and you can change these points to money. So you earn cash back on your deposit, which is really so cool. I mean, what other platform pays you for using their platform? You get money for spending money and for receiving money. And then lastly, there's a fee waiver whenever you receive money from Upwork to Clever. So if you're an Upwork freelancer, whenever you send money to Clever, they waive your fee. So it's for you get the 100% that you're getting from your balance. I mean, that sounds so good to be true when I heard it, but Clever proved me wrong. And now I use Clever for almost everything. So now to register, you need to use the referral code on Clever app. So just basically download the app from your App Store or Play Store and using your referral code 3MTT. This would waive your first fee, your first dollar deposit. You get a fee waiver on this once you use your referral code. So you can share this to two friends. Everyone should download Clever app, to be honest. It's really helpful. Especially for we stay in Nigeria, really, really helpful. So yes, now we're going into question and answers. Please let me know. Ask me anything that could help you earn your first dollar or earn first money from your next project. Please ask me anything and I'll be listening. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Rachel James. Like, look at my pen. I've had it right. The list is just endless. You mentioned so many wonderful things I ordinarily didn't know. You talked about knowing what to sell first, right? Talked about visibility. It's not just about you knowing how to do something. How do you put yourself out there to position yourself as a brand around being able to solve problems for people, right? You also talked about understanding the value you are going to be bringing. You captured positioning yourself and then, yeah, optimizing your profile. You also mentioned that it's not about just being visible on all of the social media platforms. You specifically said we can pick a good number of them, but yeah, it should not be more than three, right? That way now we have the ability to go in depth, okay? And then you gave some very awesome points around then picking our first client, right? Managing that client, even conducting post-project reviews, right? To know how the client is doing, and then using that client to kind of like get additional clients. Thank you so much, Richard. So if there are questions, you could just drop them in the chat section, right, in the comment section, and then I'll take your questions from there. And I strongly believe Richard will be more than happy to provide answers and clarity to those questions. So pending when we get some questions from them, yeah, I particularly highlighted this one. It's more of a request. Most of the fellows are requesting for your slides. Is that something you think can be made available, Richard? In fact, some are calling it templates. One person specifically called it a manual. That guy is obviously following Huno Road. So, Rachel, can that be made available to the fellows?
Yes, yes, you can. I can share the slides.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. So we'll have the slides shared in all of the communities across all of the 36 states, including FCT. So, pending when we get questions from the chat section that's coming from the fellows, right? So you talked about pricing. How exactly do you know how to? I know it's a bit easier when you are already used to it and then experienced, right, in the entire process. But when you are just starting off, how exactly do you know how to peg a value to what you are bringing to the table?
Okay, so pricing works in different ways. But first, one thing you need to do is being sure of yourself that you can bring this solution. And then knowing the company or the person you're working with, that's why I always emphasize on research. Research who you're working with is a company. Know, did they recently get funding or not? So you know where you're getting the cap from to your pricing. Me, basically, I have the limit, that's the minimal I go for on each project. So I don't go below that, but that's because of my experience. For someone just starting out, so you have to wage what you offer first. Where do you think you're at, the level you're at? What price do you think you'll be comfortable with the timeline that you have on this project? And does this company Did they recently receive funding, or did this person recently receive funding, probably for their brand, their business, or not? And then the first thing to do when talking to the client is don't say your own pricing first, but ask what's their budget. I always do that to give them the opening to tell me the budget that they have for this project. So if it's lower than my budget, I tell them that this is below what I have, but I can do this price for you. That's lower than what I normally offer, but because of you, and I'm genuinely interested in working with you, we can do this. Then I explain the value that I'm bringing with that pricing, and then give them the option to choose it or not. That's if it's below my budget. But if it's on my budget range at the same time, I sometimes do not accept it. So I still just raise it a bit higher. For example, if I plan to work on a project for $3,000, and then the client said, "Oh, my budget is $3,000." I said, "Oh, can we do 3,500 then?" Because this is what I do. This is what I do. The aim is to carry yourself very value focused and outcome focused. So that's why from the way you communicate with the client, they know that this is the person that knows what they are doing. So it comes down to waging yourself. Where do you think you're at? What level are you at? And then checking if they have funding or not. Then ask them for their budget. That's how I do it. Mm.
All right, thank you so much, Rachel. So, thank you for that context and clarity. I'll just go to some of the questions I'm seeing. There is this very wonderful question from Akinyemi Akintola. She asks a very good question. How do I strike a balance between talking, right? Between staying close to a customer and stalking that customer. What are the exact pointers one can see to hold back?
That is a very nice question. Okay, so there needs to be a balance, yes. So stalking is you basically being on that person's every social page, watching this person. That's not advisable. So on the platform that you're on, that you're active on, as I said earlier from the slides, choose like 2 to 3 platforms. So those platforms that you're on, watch the clients. We can turn on post notifications, nothing too serious, but just watch out for the major updates that they release. Then if they probably launch something else in their product, you can say, "Oh, that this is nice. Congratulations on your launch." So basically the major updates that the client brings out, that is what you congratulate them. So you're not always on their every post that they'll be like, "Oh, this person's always here, like what's happening?" No, but you watch out for things that are very important to them, business like, and then you give ideas based on what they just launched. So it's not like you're only watching them, but you're watching out to bring more value to what their business brings. So that is what clients really appreciate. That's what they really appreciate. So you can watch out for them. Not you always comment on every single thing that they post, but watch out for the major updates of the business. That's where the balance is.
Hmm. All right, thank you so much. Major updates. Don't go and hover yourself around just one client, right? Or your clients, whatever they post, you go and comment. That automatically becomes talking, right? Just be intentional and then know the major things to attack. Thank you for that response. So there's a very good question again from Teresa Okodede. She said, I have been thinking of how to start monetizing my skills as a product manager and business analyst. What 3 platforms would you suggest I start with?
Please come again with the question. It wasn't clear.
All right, so she actually talked about making attempts to monetize her skills as a product manager and business analyst, right? And then she's requesting for the specific 3 platforms that you will suggest she begins with in terms of what getting remote gigs, I suppose.
Okay, so for the first three platform I would suggest for that, first is LinkedIn. People think LinkedIn doesn't have a lot of opportunities, but they do because LinkedIn is more technical than X. LinkedIn shows your wide range of experience on a topic from the way you discuss them, and clients do appreciate that. Long-term clients are mostly on LinkedIn. Then the next one is X. X is a very good platform to get fast clients, to be honest, but most of them are one-time gigs. So X is a very good platform. And then the third one can be Upwork or Contract. The third one should be a freelance platform where you can offer your freelance services. But the first two should be social platforms. what you discuss, and show more of what you do. So that's maximizing yourself and visibility. So that's what I for us.
All right, thank you. So Ahunam Chidima also asked a good question here. What's the easiest way to create a portfolio that isn't overwhelming?
Okay, so
I
that is
remember
very
you're very
subjective.
emphatic on that. Hmm.
Yeah, that's very subjective because some people, I've seen a lot of discussions online. Some people say, oh, they would just need to add three projects. Your portfolios shouldn't be too much. And then I've seen some recruiters saying you need to add more than three, add a lot, let them know you have experience. So basically, the safe place is in between the two. If you want to add three projects, those should be long case studies of what you've done on a project. Those three should be long case studies. Then you can add extra two or extra three that are basically visuals, more of visuals than the storytelling to show more of what you do. That's the visual side of your portfolio. But the first three should be long case studies for people that read through to really understand if you know what you're doing. So yeah, that's it.
Okay, yeah, good. So someone also asked a question around how do you exactly know where to find, how do you even find organizations that have just received funding?
Okay, so one thing I do is I know a lot of us know why combinators. So those are like platforms that you would see startups that have just received funding. Even Apollo.io show businesses that have just received funding. So you can check out those two to see businesses, especially on LinkedIn. So you can check on LinkedIn as well. Type in businesses and funding or business that just received funding. And you can see maybe posts made by the company or posts made by founders that they just received funding for their products or for their businesses. So those three platforms work well.
Wow, that's good. Some of these tricks I'm just getting to learn about them now. Yeah, so we also have somebody the questions are endless, so, but yeah, eventually we'll have to just pause because our fellows, I think they are really interested in what you've been saying so far. So somebody is asking, which groups or communities on Twitter are the best for content writers to share their work and possibly get gigs? Did you get the question, Rachel, or do I take it again?
Yes, I did. I got the question. So for X, for Twitter, I'm not really active on the groups, on the communities. I'm not really active on Twitter communities. But one thing I do watch out is that I do join a few groups, but I'm not really active. But for LinkedIn, there are communities where you can join, and I've seen it work time and time over, where they share things that they are doing and projects for the whole community. Sometimes people tell me WhatsApp community works, which is true. But the best thing, as I said, is building in public. Tell them what you do, share it online, tell them what you do, and then ask. There's no problem asking questions. Ask people who are in groups and communities that are eager to join and bring solution to what they're doing. And then you see people reach out that have really positive groups and communities that are going on.
Hmm, great insights. So I'll probably take two more questions. I know we've taken so much of your time, and honestly, we don't take this for granted. We sincerely apologize for extending the whole conversation to this length, and then also appreciate you making the sacrifices to be here with us up till now. I'll take one question from Anita and then a final question. Anita Mayowa Girado, please, I am interested in how I can find my niche. She's probably just starting off, right? So now she went to ask, or should I just pick anyhow and start? I don't know what that means anyway, but maybe you can throw more general light around her question. How does she identify her niche?
Okay, so to first identify your niche, you need to know what you're really interested in offering. What doesn't seem like work to you? That was how I knew what I want to do and what on. Because design is vague and very generic. So you have to know. what part of it interests you more that you don't find as work? That was what I did me. And that was when I decided, oh, it was UI and UX amongst other things. So that,
Well, thank you. So just basically pick your interest, right? And then see how you can create value out of that. And then probably one of the tech skill sets that aligns best with what you love doing. So just a final question. But if you permit me, I could probably just ask like 10, 15 more, Rachel. But yeah, we'll take this one first. How do you build your confidence? I know that's something a lot of people struggle with, right? Particularly when they are just starting off. How exactly do you build that confidence? How are you able to do it? I need to confirm if you can hear me, Rachel. All right, guys. So we'll probably just wait for Rachel to join back. I think she's having some technical issues. But yeah, we heard everything about Clever, right? Low transaction fees, virtual dollar cards, and they even pay you incentives, give you points for what? For joining the platform, right? Or yeah, referral bonus. Look, I know in the past we used to have issues or challenges or struggles, right? Trying to get payments from outside the country. And I personally experienced that. But with Clever, you have this just on your mobile device. You can get paid easily without hitches, yeah, and have the money guaranteed sent to you to your local bank account at the best rates. And check out the transaction fees. She talked about 0 point, I can't remember the exact percentage, but I strongly recommend that you download Clever and begin to just smash all those international gigs. I wish us the very best. But before we wrap up this session, I'll probably just call on Rachel again. I don't know if she can hear me now.
yes,
Rachel,
I
if
can
you
hear
can
you
hear me,
now.
quickly confirm.
Sorry
Oh,
about that.
okay.
Yeah,
All right, no worries. Glad to have you back. So the question was,
see.
how do you build your confidence for people that are just starting? It's not easy, and I think I can relate to
Yeah.
them. So how have you been able to master it?
Okay, so that is very tricky because it boils down to the person themselves. But one thing that really helped me is you need to have a bit of delusion thinking about yourself and how good you are, especially when you're starting out, because you are starting out. So you aren't as good as those you say in the senior level, but that's where the delusion comes in just a little bit. That's you talking to yourself and believing so much that you can do that. And to help with that, so it won't be all talk and no action, work on a lot of projects. That's what I did at the beginning. I had a lot of projects that weren't paid, they were just side projects, personal projects. But the way I presented them, you'd actually think it was for a client. That was what I did. So doing more and more of that. I saw the mistakes I made in the previous one. I saw how my UI, my skills were being sharpened in the next one. And I saw how I kept progressing. And as I said, build in public, share the things you do online. Because as I kept sharing them, people commented on them. People told me, oh, I'm doing well. Or if I needed correction, someone told me, oh, you can do this better. So working on that, people tell me, yeah, you're doing well. You go places, all that. The support I got from people online helped to build my confidence before I got that client. So when I had that first client reaching out to me, I knew I was confident to a level because if you say, oh, have you done something similar? I can bring one of the side projects I've done and present it to him that way. So I had that confidence talking to him like I've actually worked on a project because I had. The difference was those weren't just paid, but they were actually projects. So that's what I can do to start out.
Wow, thank you so much. So basically, you build, just keep building, right? Consistency, and eventually you master it strong enough to actually confidently hold a conversation with somebody and be able to sell the value you are bringing to the table. So Rachel James, super grateful for staying with us all till now, this very moment on the call. And once more to our wonderful fellows from all over the country, right? We sincerely apologize for starting late, but obviously it was worth the wait, right? I think this should be one of the best. No, I wouldn't say the best, the second best. I don't know about the first. Looking forward to that one. So do you have any final words for our fellows listening to you this evening?
Yes. So making money online really is a magic, and it's not as hard as people say it is. It's just about being strategic and positioning yourself well. You can literally make any amount you call online as long as you have the system and internet and food, good food. You should eat raw. But yet, it's not hard really. Talking to yourself, believe in yourself, working, as I said, pitch to clients. Don't wait for clients to reach out to you. Be value focused. Be outcome focused on whatever you do. It's about how to solve a problem rather than just doing what you're doing. And you see the money will come to you. That first dollar, when you receive that first money, it will be a constant boost that you know, yes, you're capable of doing a lot of things. So yeah, that's it. It's not as hard. But if anyone have any questions specifically on specific things, they can reach out to me on any social platform and I can help. Thank
All right.
you.
Thank you so much. Sorry I lost you for a bit. The network threw me out for a few minutes. But thank you so much. And I think would is it safe to get your social media handle and probably share it with our fellows in their respective communities? I heard you
Oh,
saying
yes, it
something
is.
around. Okay, all right, solid. We'll do just that. So thank you so much. Thank you for joining the call. So to our wonderful
Thank
guys
you.
from Edo, PH, from Kano, from Sokoto, from Akwa Ibom, everybody from Calabaya. I saw some people from Calabaya. We'll keep doing this again, right? I wish you all best of luck in your learning journey. I know how frustrating it can be when you're just starting up, but well, these are practical examples of people that are getting results, right? So please do not sleep on it. Take this template, take this manual, like you call it, right? And then just smash those targets, those career goals, those career targets. Kefas Agege from Kaduna. I'm looking forward to you doing great and super amazing things. Thank you so much. Thank you guys. Enjoy the weekend.
Thank you too. Thank
All right. Thank you,
you.
Rachel.
Okay, bye.